Well, this is a good start to this video. We've got all the ladies here to say hello. I bet they wish they could get my hand. But that's not what we're here for. Let's take a little tour of the DIY coop. So, oh, there's the kitty. Kitty's here to say hello too. What's up, kitty? He's rubbing the boots. So, well, you see where the chickens are right now outside. This is the chicken run. This was about 200 bucks on Amazon. Comes with everything you see here, the chicken wire, the little rain guard, the tubing, the door, everything. So that's a pretty good deal. Now, to the actual coop here. Now, we actually bought this metal shed off of Wayfair for, I believe it was $400 at the time. But we needed windows, nesting box, all this. So we did our own custom work on it. So I built these custom made windows just with plexiglass. I took these 1x2s, cut a notch all the way down, then notched the corners, put a hole in, bolted them together, did that all the way around, hinged it up, did a frame with a sill, and voila, window. We got a little latch on there. We still got to do some weatherization on it, but we got a ways until winter time, so not too much of a rush. We did the nesting boxes too. Now, I foolishly forgot to bring the key out with me, so I'm not going to show you the inside right now. I guess I'll just have to do a whole video just on the nesting box. But I can kind of show you from the inside. But we also did a whole wooden frame for this to sit on. Now, something to bear in mind, which I learned this, and I'm glad I looked it up beforehand. So this lower piece of wood is pressure treated. The piece on top of it is not pressure treated. That's very important because these metal sheds, there is a chemical reaction when they sit directly on pressure treated wood. So I kind of did this just cheap old Douglas fir wood collar on the top to actually make contact with the shed, but the ground contact is the pressure treated. So that's something to bear in mind because this could just rot away. Then we got our galvanized steel trash can. That's sitting on wood, because if it's not sitting on wood, if this was just sitting directly on the ground, there can be a wicking effect, and then moisture could wick inside of the barrel. So sit it on wood like that. But everything stays very nicely dry in there, which is good. No bugs or anything get in there. It's fantastic. Now for the actual coop. So got a little latch there, got a padlock. Now here's our coop. We're doing what's considered the deep bedding method. So that's where you just put down a couple inches of your bedding. In our case, we're using wood chips because we can get a ton of them for free. I got a whole nother video on that, on just the free wood chips. But got a little ladder sort of thing here that I notched out to make for them to get up onto the roost here. Now, we did have a second roost up here, but we got rid of it. And that's why. Because, well, turns out birds have bird brains, and they think styrofoam is great to eat. And another issue I ran into, this is the electrical box for our automatic chicken door. And they were at perfect pecking reach to peck that very curious lit up button that turns the power off. Luckily, they turned it off with the door open, not with it closed. But you can see they ate the styrofoam on both sides. So we did have to do some insulating on the roof because with the summer heat, there was so much heat just radiating in here. It was so hot, and just this thin layer of the styrofoam panels made a massive difference. I was actually kind of surprised how much of a difference that made. Now, one little thing that I did here is I just took a bungee cord here and hooked it onto the door. Because if I have to come in here and do something while they are in here, these doors don't close on their own, so the wind could just launch it right open, and then you gotta go chase chickens. Ask me how I know. So, little bungee cord, and now it closes. It's not foolproof, but at least it closes. Now, we're gonna shut that, and let's come around to the actual chicken run. Now, you can see here, actually, this is right where we had a tree taken down. Actually, I had to chop this away just to get the run to sit in there nicely. Hi, girls. They want to say hello. Alright, we're coming in. Alright, let me close this door behind myself so I don't have to chase chickens. Now, first off, first thing you see here is this little corner thing with the pallet and the wood and all that. This is specifically their corner for kitchen scraps. Obviously, you're going to feed them whatever it is you're going to feed them. Their feed, whatever else it is. Some people do worm farming. Some people do a whole variety of ways to feed them. But any sort of kitchen scraps, maybe you work somewhere that you can get kitchen scraps, beer grains. I got a buddy of mine who brews beer, and he gives me the grains, which is a great food source for them. They need a lot of protein, they need a lot of calcium, and there's a lot of other nutrients that they need in order to produce the eggs or the meat quality that you want from them. Now, this here is a curious little thing. So this is all caged in, but it's open on the bottom here. Now, I don't have anything going right now, but what I will do is move wood chips out of my way so I have access to the soil, and I'll plant a whole lot of what am I trying to say here? The white clover. We have a variety of clover called New Zealand white clover. Now, all the clovers are relatively high in protein. Some range between 15 to 30% protein. The New Zealand white clover is on the higher end of that. But the cool thing about the New Zealand white clover is it can allegedly grow in temperatures as low as -13. So it can keep on growing throughout much of winter. It's a nitrogen fixer, so over in the garden, when we start to batten it down for winter, we're going to plant in a whole bunch of white clover to pull nitrogen back down out of the air into the soil. But we're here for the coop, so that's another thing. But now you can see here, there's a 5-gallon bucket. This is for their water. And we've got these things on here. They call them nipples. So they peck the little metal part. There's a spring in there, so when they peck it, water comes out and they can drink it. And the cone is just so they don't get up there and, you know, poop on their own water. There's a food thing. We also do a fermentation process on their feed. I will demonstrate that in another video. Now here's the cool thing. Another homemade window. That's not the cool thing. This is the cool thing. This is an automatic chicken door. So this has a sensor just like a garage door when it's coming down. And well, you can see what happens when it comes down if I press this. Ooh, red lights. It's like the entrance to the space station. Darth Vader's about to come out. Actually, we're closing him in. Now Darth Vader can come out. So, these things can be programmed with specific times, which is what we're doing at the moment. So, it'll open at 6 a.m. and it'll close at 8:30 p.m. Or, it has a built-in luminosity sensor, so it can detect how bright or dark it is, and you could set the sensitivity level of it as well. So you can customize just how dark it is, how dark you want it to be when it closes, and how light it'll be when the door opens. Now the chickens do instinctually know to go inside when it starts getting dark out, because, well, that's when all the predators come out and everything wants to eat chickens. You do, I do, everything does. So that's basically the coop tour here. You can see another video that I did specifically about the wood chips, sourcing the wood chips, and the different uses that we're going to utilize them for. In a future video, I'm going to talk about what this is going to be transformed into come winter time, because it's not going to look quite like this. It's going to be a whole transformed heated compost system, but the compost is what's going to heat it, not electricity or anything like that. But luckily we got quite a few months until then. But in the meantime, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the coop tour. Till next time.